So welcome everybody to tonight's special Puja Friday, when we're going to be doing a commemorative puja to celebrate the anniversary, but celebrate Sangharakshita, who died 2 years ago today. Our teacher who set up Triratna, who's the reason we're all sitting in our rooms, looking at screens and ready to do a puja. It's a real privilege to host tonight's evening, actually. And I know that, I can speak for all the puja team to say that it's just a delight to see people here wanting to celebrate in this way with us. This very important person who still lives on in Triratna. So I'll just introduce you to who the team is, and we've got special support act tonight. So I'm Padma Saki. I'll be doing the general intro, and then we've got Bodhi Nair sitting there. Give us a wave, Bodhi Nair. Bodhi Nair is going to be leading the puja, and we've also got the support of Stephen, who's doing an excellent job on tech, and also going to be doing one of the readings for us. And Sadie, who's joining us, and she's going to be doing one of the readings too. So as it's a special night, we've asked the men's community at the Nottingham Buddhist Centre to actually join us and be our response. So I don't know if you've all done online pujas or not. So what will happen is that the person that's leading will be unmuted, and the response is unmuted. So we've got 4 members of the community there. It's Gareth, Zach, Arivachin and Rich, and they're all going to be our response. So when we join in, it will be with them. So we get a sense of joining in with a group rather than when we normally do this, we just have a single response. So I think that'll work really well. They've done a special shrine for us, which is very beautiful, and it's you can't really see, but there's a picture of Banti on the middle and his teachers. So it's been quite beautifully done. I think Zach and Rich did that, and Gareth, yeah. So we really appreciate the effort they've gone to make tonight's shrine especially beautiful. So when we were talking about how how to actually do justice to Sangharakshita, he's such a complex, big figure. And we decided it was best to maybe think about one particular gift, or if you like, that he's given us. And so we're dedicating this to the Bodhisattva ideal, the ideal that was so important to Bhante. It's this ideal that we're not just doing this to make our own lives easier, that we're joining and we're doing something to help all beings. And I think a communal coming together and doing a devotional ritual is quite a beautiful way of reaffirming that ideal in our hearts. So Sangharakshita lived in India for many years, and he was a monk. So he was very studious. He studied, but he lived Buddhism for many years. And he was based in Kalimpong for a lot of that time, at a time when a lot of the Tibetans were fleeing Tibet because of the Chinese invasion. So he got access to a number of teachers. He had 8 teachers in all, and he got something that was very much not about one school or one particular way of seeing the Dharma. He brought a breadth, and he really imbibed that. And when he set up Triratna, it was very much looking at Buddhism and what makes a Buddhist, rather than this school, that school, these teachings, that teachings. He would draw on anything that helped. He also took the Bodhisattva ordination, and I feel that guided the rest of his life when he took that ordination. Everything he did, and even quite shortly before he died, somebody said, "What do you want to see in Triratna?" And he just said, more centers reaching more and more people. he really wanted the Dharma to be available to people in this time, and that is just so beautiful and ideal. He was also in India when Dr. Ambedkar converted to Buddhism, along with thousands and thousands of the ex-untouchable Dalit community. And as you probably know, if you were there at Sangha night, 6 weeks later, he died, Dr. Ambedkar. And Bhante was there, and he saw the need, and he stepped in, and he just gave talk after talk to thousands of these grieving communities that didn't know what being a Buddhist meant. They didn't know. They'd converted to escape caste, but they had no guide, and they were just bereft. And he gave them some hope, and he gave them some support in that really, really crucial time when it could have all fallen apart, and it hasn't. And there are Buddhists in India, and Triratna is closely associated with India. We've got a lot of order members in India, and I think that Sangharakshita just saw the need and stepped in. He was invited back to the UK, but he found it was quite largely academic. So when he came, people were not, there was still this idea of that the monks were the Sangha and everybody else was just learning about Buddhism. So he started teaching meditation. He started doing pujas with people, and they wanted it. They were hungry for it. But so when he was freed from obligation to any particular Buddhist group in the UK, he realized there was a need. There was a need in the West for Buddhism that was fit for purpose for us in the West, living our Western lives. And so he came back, and in 1967, he set up the Friends of the Western Buddhist Order. And in 1968, he ordained the first order members into what is now Triratna. And I think it's really telling that on that first day of the order, when he'd just done the ordination, he gave a talk about the bodhicitta, the arising of the will to enlightenment, as it's called. He gave a talk about the bodhisattva ideal. And when he was asked, well, why did you give that particular talk? He said, I wanted it to be there right at the beginning, so that it was, when people were ready, it could be incorporated in. It was part of this order. And he often talked about the order as the thousand-armed Avalokiteshvara in the world, embodying that sort of compassionate activity in the world. It's the most sublime ideal in Buddhism, I think, this ideal, which is, it's impossible to take it on personally. It's not an ideal that you can say, I'm going to save the world, get my cape on and, go. It's not. You've got to go beyond that. So it's not an individual. There's not my bodhicitta and your bodhicitta. It's the bodhicitta will arise in the right circumstances. And this movement, the order, the movement we have in Triratna, is Bhante's way of trying to bring about the circumstances for the bodhicitta to arise in the world. It's quite a responsibility, I feel sometimes. Yes. All right. Our puja is actually taken from the Bodhicharyavatara, which was written by Shantideva many, many centuries ago. It's the guide to the bodhisattva way of life. It's beautiful. It's very poetic. It's challenging, but it's very poetic. And to mark this special occasion, we're doing a sevenfold puja, but the first section is going to be slightly longer than usual, but Bodhinara will talk us through that in a little while. So I wanted to just say that at his funeral, at Bhante's funeral 2 years ago, I experienced something that I think is about coming together with a shared purpose and an energy. And when I first got there in the morning, there was loads of people around, and I was looking for my friends. I was looking for people I knew. And I sat with them because they were my friends. And through the day, there was a generation of energy, something building as we went through. And at the end of the puja, we all stood up and walked behind the coffin towards where they were going to inter Bante's remains. And I've never experienced anything quite like it. I'm not great with crowds, so I'm usually busy trying to get to the edge of them or find somebody that I feel safe with. And I suddenly walked away and realized there wasn't friends and strangers anymore. There was an energy that we were like, we were one, we were joined. And I didn't have to choose a friend because everybody was there with me. And I wonder if that's something of the energy that's required to go beyond our individuality and our preferences, that is required to enable the bodhicitta to really arise. I'm not saying that that's what it was. I'm saying that I got a sense of some different way of being with people. And it's very beautiful. So I wanted to share that as this is what happens when we come together with a shared focus and energy. And that's really powerful. So I'm going to hand on to Bodhinaya now to just talk us through the evening's events and what's going to be happening.
Okay, thanks, Padmasaki. Can you hear me okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Padmasaki's sort of taking you through some of the tech. So I'll just take you through, how we're actually going to arrange the pujas. So as Padmasaki said, the first section, the worship section, is going to be a bit different. It's going to be a bit longer. And the verses will be a bit shorter because it's all quite new for us. So trying to make it easy. But there's also familiar verses as well from the traditional sevenfold puja. So that's the worship section, and all the other sections of the puja are as normal, just so that's clear. Before the worship section, we're going to have a reading from Sadhi that Padmasaki will introduce. And then after the reading, well, it's a poem, we're going to have 3 or 4 minutes in silence, just reflecting on the poem that Padmasaki will say more about in a moment. So after the worship section, we're going to have a mantra, which is the Shakyamuni mantra. And it's the Indian version that Bhante wrote or adjusted. And that's going to be led by the men's community. Okay. So Zach will be doing starting off the mantra, and then the men's community will be joining in. So we'll get a nice collective volume, and it will feel like we're more present with and all more in the same room. And of course, as per normal, you can make your offerings in your shrines at home, prostrating and bowing before your shrines as per normal while the mantra is going on. So I'm just looking at my notes here, just so you know that. It's quite a complex process tonight. There's a lot of people involved, and as exciting as it is, it also means the chance of something not going well is probably higher. So that's the first section, followed by the mantra. And then we've got a second reading, which Stephen's going to do. And that's from Sangharakshita's My History of Going for Refuge. So Stephen's going to be reading that after the second section, which is after the salutation. Okay. I think it's the second section. Well, it's after the salutation section. And then we've got a third reading that Padmasaki is going to do, which again is a poem by Bhante. And that will be after entreaty and supplication. Okay. And just, yeah, while I'm thinking, you know, you can make offerings at any point during the puja. I mean, traditionally, you know, we make offerings after the first section, but, you know, if the spirit of Bhante captures you, or the spirit of the Bodhisattva ideal captures you, and you feel like you want to respond to that, then please do, you know, make your offerings as and when. And then we've got the second mantra, which Richard is going to lead, which is the green Tara mantra. Thank you, Richard. And again, the men's community will create the volume that we need to help us sort of really have a sense of togetherness. And then we'll end as per normal with the closing mantras, and perhaps have a few minutes, depending on how long, what time it is, just to assimilate the impact of the puja. Sometimes after a puja, a real stillness can perfume the air, to perfume the virtual shrine room which we're all in. And, you know, we can sort of soak that up at the end. And then, you know, we can have a little chat at the end, if as a collective Sangha, if that chooses, if that interests you. I just want to say something about the Heart Sutra, because we're going to be doing that in unison, okay? And again, the men's community will be reciting the Heart Sutra in unison, and will be appropriately muted and just join in, you know, as we would normally do with a mantra, if you like. I think that's everything. Is that everything, team?
I think so.
Okay. We do have some backup plans. This is how thorough we are. So, you know, tech stuff sometimes doesn't work, and we've got Stephen and Sadie in the wings if the mantras, if there's some tech issues, and if I have a breakdown, Padmasaki will take over. So we're prepared for all eventualities tonight.
We're very thorough.
Okay, so I hope that's clear. Well, I'll just hand you back to Padmasaki now.
Okay, so before I talk about Sadie's reading, I think it's appropriate to salute the three jewels now. If the Buddhist Center could help me with that. Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Dharmaya.
Namo
Dharmaya.
Namo Sanghaya.
Namo Sanghaya.
Namo Namah.
Namo Namah.
Om.
Om.
Ah. Hum.
Hum.
I got my fairy lights. Okay. So as we move towards the puja, I thought it would be lovely to spend some time reflecting on what Sangharakshita has given us personally. It will be different for every one of us, whether directly or indirectly, through Triratna, through your teachers, whoever they are. And so Sadie is going to read a poem by Bhante called The Four Gifts, where he very clearly sets out what he feels he's offering us. And then we'll have a few minutes afterwards before we go into the puja, where we can just bring Sangharakshita to mind, bring a sense of gratitude and joy to mind for the gifts that we have. So I will hand over to Sadie now.
Sorry, hold on. I think Sadie's having a problem unmuting. It's
4 gifts. I come to you with 4 gifts. The first gift is a lotus flower. Do you understand? My second gift is a golden net. Can you recognize it? My third gift is a shepherd's round dance. Do your feet know how to dance? My fourth gift is a garden planted in a wilderness. Could you work there? I come to you with 4 gifts. Dare you accept them?
sevenfold puja, commemorating the death of our precious teacher, Ergin Sangharakshita. Worship. In order to bring about the arising of the bodhicitta, that precious jewel of the mind, I offer worship to the Buddhas and to the flawless jewel of the true Dharma, and to the sons and daughters of the Buddha, who are oceans of virtue. I offer to them now as many flowers and fruits as there are in the world, as many healing herbs, as many jewels, and all waters, clear and refreshing. I offer mountains made of precious stones, and forest groves to be enjoyed in solitude. Vines blazing with flowers, and trees whose branches bend low with delicious fruit. I offer fragrances of the celestial realms, the wishing tree with fruits of jewels, pools and lakes adorned with lotuses, and the endlessly fascinating cry of wild geese. I offer rich harvests, both wild and sown. I offer everything that can adorn those worthy of worship. And I offer everything which no one owns within the limitless spheres of space, conjuring all these in my imagination. I offer them to the incomparable sages and to their sons and daughters. O compassionate ones, you who are worthy of the choicest gifts, think kindly of me and accept these offerings of mine. Having no merit, I am destitute, and I have nothing else to offer. O protectors, you who think only of helping others, accept these for my sake. And I give myself
and I give myself
to the conquerors completely,
to the conquerors completely,
and to their sons and daughters.
and to their sons and daughters.
Take possession of me,
Take possession of me,
O sublime beings.
O sublime beings.
In devotion I offer myself
In devotion I offer myself
as your slave,
as your slave.
having become your possession.
Having become your possession,
I have nothing more
I have nothing more
to fear in existence.
than being in existence.
I act only for the welfare of all.
I act only for the welfare of all.
I shall completely transcend
I shall completely transcend
my previous evils,
my previous evils,
and in the future
and in the future
shall commit no more.
they commit no more.
With Mandara, blue lotus, and jasmine,
With Mandara, blue lotus, and jasmine,
with all flowers pleasing and fragrant,
with all flowers pleasing and fragrant,
and with garlands skillfully woven,
and with garlands skillfully woven,
I pay honor to the princes of the sages,
I pay honor to the princes of the sages,
so worthy of veneration.
so worthy of veneration.
I envelop them in clouds of incense,
I envelop them in clouds of incense,
sweet and penetrating.
sweet and penetrating.
I make them offerings of food hard and soft,
I make them offerings of food hard and soft,
and pleasing kinds of liquids to drink.
and pleasing kinds of liquids to drink.
I offer them lamps encrusted with jewels,
I offer them lamps encrusted with jewels,
festooned with golden lotus,
festooned with golden lotus,
on the paving sprinkled with perfume.
on the paving sprinkled with perfume.
I scatter handfuls of beautiful flowers,
I scatter handfuls of beautiful flowers,
and from this time forth,
and from this time forth,
may delightful clouds
may delightful clouds
of worship arise,
of worship arise,
and clouds of music and song,
and clouds of music and song,
which thrill all creatures,
which thrill all creatures,
appeasing their sorrow.
appeasing their sorrow.
May there flow
May there flow
from the heavens
from the heavens
a continuous rain of flowers
a continuous rain of flowers
and precious gems
and precious gems
upon all the jewels
upon all the jewels
of the true Dharma,
on the true Dharma,
upon all shrines
upon all shrines
and all images,
and all images,
and I glorify
and I glorify
the oceans of excellence
the oceans of excellence
with floods of melodious praise.
with floods of melodious praise.
May clouds
May clouds
of gentle eulogy
of gentle eulogy
constantly rise up to them.
constantly rise up to them. Muni, Muni, Mahamuni, Shakyamuni. Shakyamuni Sadhu Muni Muni Mahamuni 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 Shakyamuni Sadhu.
Salutation. As many atoms as there are
As many atoms as there are
in the 1,000,000,000 worlds,
in the 1,000,000,000 worlds,
so many times I make reverent salutation
so many times I make reverent salutation
to all the Buddhas of the 3 eras,
to all the Buddhas of the 3 eras,
to the Siddharma,
to the Siddharma,
and to the excellent community.
and to the excellent community.
I pay homage to all the shrines
I pay homage to all the shrines
and places in which the Bodhisattvas have been.
and places in which the Bodhisattvas have been.
I make profound obeisance to the teachers
I make profound obeisance to the teachers
and those to whom respectful salutation is due.
and those to whom respectful salutation is due.
Taking refuge in the Buddha is too long to be quoted in full, but its 7 8-line stanzas constituted a resounding declaration of my heartfelt conviction that for me there could be no refuge in the beauties of nature, no refuge in the world of literature and the arts, no refuge in politics, no refuge in professional or commercial activity, no refuge in Christianity, Islam or Hinduism, no refuge in the observances of conventional Buddhism, no refuge anywhere in conditioned existence, and no refuge even in a nirvana conceived simply as the opposite of samsara. For me, there could be refuge only at the feet of the Buddha, above the dualism of subject and object. The fact that in this poem I spoke only of taking refuge in the Buddha did not, of course, mean that I did not likewise take refuge in the Dharma and the Sangha. It simply meant that my taking refuge in the Dharma and the Sangha was contained within my taking refuge in the Buddha, even as the Dharma jewel and the Sangha jewel were themselves contained within the Buddha jewel.
Going for refuge. This very day,
This very day,
I go for my refuge
I go for my refuge
to the powerful protectors
to the powerful protectors,
whose purpose is to guard the universe,
whose purpose is to guard the universe,
the mighty conquerors who overcome suffering everywhere,
the mighty conquerors who overcome suffering everywhere.
Wholeheartedly also I take my refuge
Wholeheartedly also I take my refuge
in the Dharma they have ascertained,
in the Dharma they have ascertained,
which is the abode of security against the rounds of rebirth.
which is the abode of security against the rounds of rebirth.
Likewise in the hosts of bodhisattvas,
Likewise in the host of bodhisattvas,
I take my refuge.
I take my refuge.
Namo tassa
Namo tassa
bhagavato arahato
bhagavato arahato
samma sambuddhassa.
samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa
Namo tassa
bhagavato arahato
bhagavato arahato
samma sambuddhassa.
samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa
Namo tassa
bhagavato arahato
bhagavato arahato
samma sambuddhassa.
samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhang saranam gacchami.
Buddham saranam gacchami.
Dhammang saranam gacchami.
Dhammam saranam gacchami.
Sanghang saranam gacchami.
Sangham saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddham saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddham saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddham saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddham saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi sangham saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi sangham saranam gacchami.
Anatipata.
Hanatipata.
Ramani.
Verani.
Dekapadam.
Sikhapadam.
Dhammadhyami.
Samadhyami.
Adinadana.
Adinadana.
Ramani.
Verani.
Dekapadam.
Sikhapadam.
Dhammadhyami.
Samadhyami.
Amesu.
Havesu.
Nechachara.
Michachara.
Ramani.
Verani.
Dekapadam.
Sikhapadam.
Dhammadhyami.
Samadhyami.
Musavada.
Musavada.
Ramani.
Verani.
Dekapadam.
Sikhapadam.
Dhammadhyami.
Samadhyami.
Suramerya.
Suramerya.
Maja.
Maja.
Tatana.
Amadatana.
Ramani.
Verani.
Dekapadam.
Sikhapadam.
Dhammadhyami.
Samadhyami.
Sadhu.
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 With deeds of loving kindness,
With deeds of loving kindness,
I purify my body.
I purify my body.
With open-handed generosity,
With open-handed generosity,
I purify my body.
I purify my body.
With stillness,
With stillness,
simplicity,
simplicity,
and contentment,
and contentment,
I purify my body.
I purify my body.
With truthful communication,
With truthful communication,
I purify my speech.
I purify my speech.
With mindfulness clear and radiant,
With mindfulness clear and radiant,
I purify my mind.
I purify my mind.
Confession of faults. The evil that I have heaped up
The evil that I have heaped up
through my ignorance and foolishness,
through my ignorance and foolishness,
evil in the world of everyday experience,
evil in the world of everyday experience,
as well as evil in understanding and intelligence,
as well as evil in understanding and intelligence.
all that I acknowledge to the protectors,
All that I acknowledge to the protectors,
standing before them,
standing before them,
with hands raised in reverence,
with hands raised in reverence,
and terrified of suffering.
and terrified of suffering.
I pay salutations again and again.
I pay salutations again and again.
May the leaders receive this kindly,
May the leaders receive this kindly,
just as it is with its many faults.
just as it is with its many faults.
What is not good, O protectors,
What is not good, all protectors,
I shall not do again.
I shall not do again.
Rejoicing in merit. I rejoice with delight
I rejoice with delight
in the good done by all beings,
in the good done by all beings,
through which they obtain rest,
through which they obtain rest,
with the end of suffering.
with the end of suffering.
May those who have suffered be happy.
May those who have suffered be happy.
I rejoice in the release of beings
I rejoice in the release of beings
from the sufferings of the rounds of existence.
from the sufferings of the rounds of existence.
I rejoice in the nature of the Bodhisattva
I rejoice in the nature of the Bodhisattva
and the Buddha,
and the Buddha,
who are protectors.
who are protectors.
I rejoice in the arising of the will to enlightenment.
I rejoice in the arising of the will to enlightenment
And the teaching,
and the teachings,
those oceans that bring happiness to all beings,
those oceans that bring happiness to all beings,
and are the abode of welfare of all beings.
and are the abode of welfare for all beings.
Entreaty and supplication. Saluting them with folded hands,
Saluting them with folded hands,
I entreat the Buddhas in all the quarters.
I entreat the Buddhas in all the quarters.
May they make shine the lamp of the Dharma
May they make shine the lamp of the Dharma
for those wandering in the suffering of delusion,
for those wandering in the suffering of delusion.
with hands folded in reverence.
With hands folded in reverence,
I implore the conqueror's desire to enter nirvana.
I implore the conquerors desiring to enter nirvana.
May they remain here for endless ages,
May they remain here for endless ages,
so that life in this world does not grow dark.
so that life in this world does not grow dark.
The Bodhisattva. Because I could not muse apart in world oblivious ecstasy, but felt like fire drops in my heart, the tears of all humanity, I cast aside that source of pride, the glittering robe of selfish peace, and donned the dress of painfulness until all others' pain should cease. In house and market, shop and cell, wherever those in bondage be, even in the very depths of hell, my compassion sets them free. Nor shall I cease to strive for peace till every trembling blade of grass that feels with pain that sting of rain into nirvana's bliss shall pass. Let me endure unending pains, drain to the dregs grief's bitterest cup, while one unhappy life remains. My own I cannot render up. Nirvana's joy would only cloy, should it to me alone befall. Closed evermore Nirvana's door, unless I enter last of all.
The Heart Sutra. The Bodhisattva of compassion, when he meditated deeply,
saw the emptiness of all 5 skandhas, and sundered the bonds that caused him suffering. Here then, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form. Form is only emptiness, emptiness only form. Feeling, thought, and choice, consciousness itself, are the same as this. All things are by nature void. They are not born or destroyed, nor are they stained or pure, nor do they wax or wane. So, in emptiness, no form, no feeling, thought, or choice, no consciousness, no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, no colour, sound, smell, taste, touch, or what the mind takes hold of, not even act of sensing, no ignorance or end of it, nor all that comes of ignorance, no withering, no death, no end to them, nor is there pain nor cause of pain, or cease in pain or noble path to lead from pain, not even wisdom to attain. Attainment too is emptiness. So know that the Bodhisattva, holding to nothing whatever, but dwelling in prajna wisdom, is freed of delusive hindrance, rid of the fear bred by it, and reaches clearest nirvana. All Buddhas of past and present, Buddhas of future time, using this prajna wisdom, come to full and perfect vision. Hear then the great Dharani, the radiant peerless mantra, the prajna paramita, whose words allay all pain. Hear and believe its truth. Gate, gate, paragate, parasangate, bodhiswaha. Gate, gate, paragate, parasangate, bodhiswaha. Gate, gate, paragate, parasangate, bodhiswaha.
Transference of merit and self-surrender. May the merit gained
May the merit gained
in my acting thus
in my acting thus
go to the alleviation of the suffering of all beings.
go to the alleviation of the suffering of all beings.
My personality throughout my existences.
My personality throughout my existences.
My possessions.
My possessions.
And my merit in all 3 ways.
And my merit in all 3 ways.
I give up without regard to myself.
I give up without regard to myself.
for the benefit of all beings.
For the benefit of all beings.
Just as the earth and other elements.
Just as the earth and other elements.
Are serviceable in many ways.
Are serviceable in many ways.
To the infinite number of beings.
To the infinite number of beings.
Inhabiting limitless space.
Inhabiting limitless space.
So may I become.
So may I become.
That which maintains all beings.
That which maintains all beings.
Situated throughout space.
Situated throughout space.
So long as all have not attained.
So long as all have not attained.
To peace.
To peace.
Om Tare Ture Swaha. 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 Om Tare Ture Swaha.
Om Mani Padme Hum.
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 Om Marapatranati.
Om Marapatranati.
Om Marapadranadi.
Om Marapadranadi.
Om Marapadranadi.
Om Marapadranadi.
Om Vajrapani Hun.
Om Vajrapani Om.
Om Vajrapani Hun.
Om Vajrapani Om.
Om Vajrapani Hun.
Om Vajrapani Om.
Om Tare Ture Swaha.
Om Tare Sutare Ture Swaha.
Om Tare Ture Swaha.
Om Tare Sutare Ture Swaha.
Om Tare Ture Swaha.
Om Tare Sutare Ture Swaha.
Om Amideva Hri.
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 Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakyamuni Svaha.
Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakyamuni Swaha.
Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakyamuni Svaha.
Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakyamuni Swaha.
Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakyamuni Svaha.
Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakyamuni Swaha.
Om Mahun Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Hun.
Om Ahum Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Hum.
Om Mahun Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Hun.
Om Ahum Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Hum.
Om Mahun Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Hun.
Om Ahum Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Hum.
Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhisvaha.
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 Gate gate paragate harasangate kodi swaha.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
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 Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you all for joining us tonight in this puja dedicated to Sangharakshita. It's felt lovely to actually have the chorus of voices from the Buddhist Center. I really felt like I was back in the shrine room with you all. It's been so missed, so thank you for joining us tonight. And I'm just so grateful to be able to do this with you. I do feel like I connect very much with the people that do puja, even though we're all in our separate little boxes and rooms. It doesn't feel like that. And so I just wanted to say how wonderful it was to be with you tonight. And if you do feel that you know you've got something out of the night and you can, then please donate. There's a donate link in the email. It really helps us to keep bringing Bhante's vision alive, to keep offering the Dharma. So anything, and if you can't give anything, then please come back in a fortnight's time and do another one with us. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Padma Saki. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Lovely.
Stay safe and well.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bodhi
Bye.
Naya. Thank you, Saki,
Everyone.
Stephen and
Bye.
Sadie. Thank
Bye,
you.
Nicola.
See you.
Bye.
Bye,
See
Rachel.
you soon. Take
See you
care.
soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.